Most people think that making positive changes in their lives and businesses is difficult, but it's easier than you think. Dr. Stephanie Aldrich created the Habit Formula book, and she wants you to have a free copy of it. In the Habit Formula, you will learn what habits are, where habits come from, and how to form new ones. Habits rule everything in your life, whether you realize it or not. Get your free copy of the Habit Formula today. Go to thehabitformulabook.com for more information. Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It's lunchtime with the Habit Master. I'm your host, Dr. Stephanie Aldrich, and I help people change their results. Why and how? Because they're not getting the results that they want, so we change the habit. All of the routines and things that you do on a daily basis, we help to tweak them a little bit and change them a little bit, and that gives you different results. So today is Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. And usually on Mondays, it's Mommy Mondays. And what we talk about are things that parents can use so that their children don't drive them insane, so that they're helping their kids, create good habits, good results, so that when they grow up, they're not living with us when they're 35, and they can become successful adults. Today, we're going to talk about this term called reinforcement. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody, if you're doing your Christmas envelope system, we're up to $360. So remember, if you're doing $60 a week, you want to have $1,000 by Black Friday for Thanksgiving, so you can buy your Christmas presents without going into debt at the beginning of 2020. Make sure that you're using your envelope system, and we're up to $360 already. We're talking some serious cash now. So make sure that you're trying to get ahead of the game, right? You're planning, you're doing things that will, keep you on track, so that when it's time to buy holiday presents, that you're not getting yourself into debt, putting it on a credit card, and, not doing what you want to do at the end of the year. Or beginning of the year or next year, because you have holiday debt. So today is Reinforcement Day. Before I get started, I want to tell everybody that you can grab a free copy of my book called The Habit Formula if you go to thehabitformulabook.com. If you want to dive deeper into this material, upgrade your order. Prices just went up on Friday, so sorry everybody that didn't get in on time, but it's still a great deal. It's not that expensive. So if you want to dive deeper into that, upgrade your order and dive into those materials. So reinforcement. What does the term reinforcement mean? By definition, reinforcement is the action of strengthening or the process of encouraging or establishing belief or habit. So basically, think of good habits, positive thinking, and that maybe anything is possible, right? We try to encourage our children to do the right thing, to be nice to people, to be creative, to be imaginative, to think out of the box, and that anything that they want, they can have. They just have to act in a certain way and put into those thoughts into action so that they can get the results that they want, right? We're trying to reinforce good habits here. An old behavior psychology way of getting a particular result out of a particular behavior. So that's kind of what reinforcement does. There's been tons of studies on cognitive behavior of, if you do this, you get this kind of thing. If you reinforce this idea by either a reward or a treat or something like that, you can cause this behavior to happen, right? So this is something that we can totally use on our children. We can totally use this on ourselves too. But it's a way for us to help to control the situation, to help drive the fact that we want them to do a certain thing in a certain way, right? It's how we form habitual behaviors, and it's a way that we can be persistent in our reinforcement skills, right? So we're going to go over 4 types of reinforcement, and also we're going to dive into one of the types of reinforcement a little bit more and give you another 4 ways to do that reinforcement. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about the 4 types of reinforcement. So these are the 4 types. Okay? You've got your positive, you've got your negative, you've got your punishment, and you've got your elimination. So positive reinforcement, you're encouraging. Maybe you give a reward. You're like, yeah, if you do this, or you did well in school, you studied hard, now you get good grades, and now I'm going to take you to the movie. Or maybe you go to grandma's house for the weekend and spend time with her. Or, you think of something that will help to incentivize your child to do what you want them to do, right? We all want our kids to be smart, to do well, to behave, to have manners, all of that. If you use positive reinforcement, there's tons of methods, and this is the one that we're going to go into with 4 types, okay? Because they found that 68% of kids especially are more likely to follow the positive path if you do positive reinforcement. So, positive is, you are praising them, you are acknowledging their action and what results that they got, right? The second type of reinforcement is negative. You did bad. You're punishing them, here too. You did lousy. You give them discipline for something. So let's say your teen is late for curfew. You take away the car for a little while. You take away, you punish them, you ground them for a little bit, right? They're not allowed to go into their social circles or go to that party that they want to go to, or maybe homecoming dance, or, something like that. So there's a punishment for what they did, right? So that's also negative. I think all 3 of these are pretty much negative, right? The last one is elimination, okay? That's basically wiping it out. So you get bad grades. You were supposed to get a new car if you got straight A's, right? We were going to help you get a new car. Well, you didn't do well, so we're eliminating that whole scenario. You're never going to get that because you had bad grades. We had a deal. You broke the deal. I'm eliminating it, okay? Elimination is also if, your child did something bad and you're taking away something, right? They didn't do their chores, you're taking away the iPad. They didn't do their chores and they can't go to grandma's house this weekend, right? I think all of these are very similar. It's all negative, okay? Now, that doesn't mean as a parent that, I don't tell my kid, hey, you don't pick up your clothes, you can't go out and play with the neighbor kid, or, whatever. But I also try to do a spin on it, right? I try to be more positive with my reinforcement. Hey, you get to go outside. Hey, you want to go outside and play with the neighbor kids? Hey, let's hurry up and clean up, right? You can kind of spin it more positive, even though it kind of is a negative, a punishment or elimination type reinforcement. But you can not, use it so negatively. Use the negative words. You can use more positive. So, hey, you get to do this if you do that, right? That usually helps. And especially with kids, they want to be rewarded. Hey, if you help me with the laundry, we're going to go out for some ice cream, whatever it is. Instead of saying, well, if you don't do that, you don't get ice cream. Kids usually, and even adults, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I want to do something fun. I want to do something positive. I want to get out of the house, If you go more into the positive realm, and we're going to talk about 4 ways to do that in a little bit. If you talk about going into the positive realm, a lot of times the kids will follow trait, okay? They'll follow suit, they'll do what you want them to do. And that's basically an easy way to build a habit is reinforcement. Reinforcement is also persistence. In chapter 6 of the habit formula, the 6th chapter is all about persistence. And it talks about, how we can keep everything on track to meet our goal. Well, with kids, reinforcement is really easy because we're talking about treats and toys and activities and things like that. When we get to be an adult, it's a little bit harder to do the trinket kind of thing, right? I want to get in shape. Okay, yeah, I could fit into my skinny jeans. I look a lot better. I feel better. That's more of an abstract kind of thing. But what if someone said you were going to live 10 years longer, enjoy your grandchildren, and you'll even see your great-grandchildren if you get yourself into shape and live a more healthy lifestyle? Okay, that's going to draw on the heartstrings a little bit more. And as an adult, you're going to say, okay, is that important to me, right? Yeah, it's important to me. What if I said that, you're just going to feel better? You're going to have more energy. You can do the activities. Let's say you loved golf and you had to stop because you were having back pain, because you got a big fat belly, you're totally out of shape, you got high blood pressure, you're too sweaty, maybe you got a bad knee, and you can't walk up and down the golf course anymore. What if I said if I got you into shape, you started living a healthier lifestyle, that guess what? You can go play golf 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every day of the week if you wanted. What if I said that? Is that incentive enough for you to follow what I have to say? Yeah, maybe. If you really loved golf, if you really loved to go sailing, but because, for whatever reason you couldn't sail, but I told you you could if you did this, that's reinforcement. That's persistence in doing what you have to do to get rid of the bad habits so that your good habits, your good results come into play. With kids, it's a little bit easier, right? Because we can kind of get rid of this negative stuff and twist it, spin it. You psychology people, we're smarter than them. Remember, we've been around a little bit. We've had a little bit more experience in this whole thing of living, right? Use the positive reinforcement. Spin it a little bit. Hey, we get to do this if you do this. Hey, let's do this and we get to have this, right? A lot of times kids will be like, heck yeah, and especially if it's something that they really want. You're the parent. You know what they want. You know what's going to trigger them. My kid's always going to love something sweet. Hey, I'll give you a little treat if you do this, right? Yeah, that's cool. But don't spin it the other way and be negative or be punishing. Yes, every kid needs to be punished. I'm not saying that. Everybody needs to be disciplined when it's time. However, when you're trying to reinforce a good habit, right? Something that's a pattern of behavior that you want to instill over time. Pick up your clothes. help with the laundry, do the dishes, be clean, go in and you're all dirty, go wash your hands kind of thing. Sometimes when we're first starting and it's not a habit yet for your child, you need to do positive reinforcement. You need to reward them somehow, okay? An easy way to do that is a reward system. You can do some people do allowances. Some people do a chore chart with a reward pinned to the end. And that could be a movie or having a kid come over, one of their friends, right, for the afternoon. Or, weekend with Grammy or, whatever. Whatever they want, they agree to it ahead of time. And something that I'm working on, it's almost done, is the follow-up for the habit formula, and it's for parents to help teach their kids good manners, good habits. In it, I have an example of a chore chart, and it's something that I use with my child, and it works. It's starting to develop, it's starting to reinforce, and it helps me become persistent in teaching him how to do chores around the house and to kind of think and be aware of his mess and how to keep things tidy and clean, right? So we're going to talk about, really dive into the positive reinforcements today. Again, the study that I read said that 68% of children actually did what they were supposed to do when people were using positive reinforcements and not negative, right? So there's 4 positive reinforcements. The first one that we kind of hit on was cause and effect. If you upgrade to the habit formula, one of the courses, in there you get one of these downloads of the free ebook. It's the 7 Laws of the Universe. And it sounds a little hokey pokey, but it's just like gravity. It's just like momentum, different laws that are out there. The first, one of the laws, I think it's 4. No, it's 5. It's number 6 in the 7 laws, is the law of cause and effect. This law states that for every cause, there's an effect. And the opposite of that is for every effect, there's a cause. You can work forward or backwards with this laws. Your thoughts, behaviors, and actions create specific effects in your life. Using all of these laws, we can conclude that if you can control the cause, then we can control the effect. Likewise, we can change one thing, and this will result in changes with something else, okay? That's in this little book. So, a type of positive reinforcement that you can use with your child is the law of cause and effect. So, if you do one thing, then it can lead to a result, right? So if you study real hard for this test, I'm going to help you. Let's study these spelling words all week. Then it's time for the test on Friday, right? What's going to happen? More than likely, they're going to get a good grade. They're going to get a result because they made a positive cause and they got a positive effect. Now, this is not just I'm thinking something positive. You actually have to do something. You have to have an action. So they're studying hard, they get a good result. Let's say that they're a tennis player, so they don't have to worry about anybody else's performance. It's just their performance, okay? They worked hard on their serving. They worked real hard with the coach, on their backswing, whatever, okay? I'm not a tennis player, so I don't know the technicalities of it. But they worked real hard. They had their first match. They knew what the other person's strengths and weaknesses were, right? And they strategized on ball placement and, what they were going to do during the match. And they actually won, right? They did what they were supposed to do. They practiced real hard. And what was the effect? They won, okay? You can use cause and effect as a positive reinforcement, okay? You don't want to spin it and say, well, if you don't study, you're never going to do anything. You're not going to amount to anything. That's not how you do it. You say, all right, we want to get a good result, right? You want to, become a reporter, a journalist, right? Well, that means you have to be creative in your writing. Well, let's write 5 stories, because that's your homework, and that will lead you to a good result, right? You've got to reinforce with the cause and effect. If you do this, you get this, and that's the law of cause and effect. The second type of positive reinforcement is token. That's what they used here in the Psych 101, right? A token reinforcement is basically something material, okay? It's a reward system. So, a toy, or we're going to go on a trip, okay? Or, hey, you get straight A's, excuse me, you get straight A's this semester, and we'll help you buy a car, okay? Or you work this summer, you save all your money, we're going to help you buy a car, okay? It works for anyone. For me, I earn X amount of money. I hit my goal for this quarter. Then I'm going to reward myself next quarter with a small vacation, a girl vacation, something that I can, spend with my friends, and, the money will be there because I hit my goal, my target, okay? So a token type reinforcement is good for anybody. I lose 10 pounds, I'm going to treat myself to a spa day and a new pair of jeans, right? That's reinforcement. It's a physical item, okay? The third positive form of reinforcement is social. So this is not a tangible kind of thing. This is not material type thing. This is, hey, it's praise. It's, I'm so proud of you. You did so great. Give me a hug. It's, grandma coming and saying, oh, you did so wonderful. You made that shot and you won the game, or, whatever. That's more of a social praise. You have people kind of behind you, supporting you and saying, woohoo, you did it kind of thing, okay? That is, you may not think that is an important type of reinforcement, but I'm telling you, especially for a child, it just pumps them up so much. And even as an adult, sometimes we get a little depressed. We get a little bit down on ourselves that, man, maybe I can't do this. All you need is a little social reinforcement, and it just gives us support. It gives us that mind frame that, hey, I've got backup if I need it. I have emotional support. People are rooting for me. People know, they believe that I can do this, right? And kids are the same way. If you say you can get up in front of people for, to do that play, they're going to say, yeah, I can. They're not even going to think about it. I know public speaking is a humongous problem for adults as we get older, right? I used to be very shy about it too. The more videos that I do, and I know I'm not an expert at it, and I never claimed to be, but the more products that I'm doing, the more shows that I'm doing, and especially live shows. If I mess up, I mess up, and I don't freaking care. It's not like, millions of people are watching me anyway. I don't really care. I do this because A, I learned something, and B, what I learn, I can teach you guys, because I'm trying to keep you on track to changing the bad habits, and also kind of, taking out the time for you so that I learn something and then I hurry up, you just watch this video. That's all you got to do. You don't have to dig for research. You don't have to read anything. All you do is watch these videos and then just start implementing things, okay? So a social reinforcement is very, very powerful. And if you can get other people on board, especially family members or even friends that they value their opinion, they look up to them, they love them kind of thing, social reinforcement is very, very powerful. And the last reinforcement, number 4, of positivity is tangible. So tangible is very similar to token. that it's material. So it's toys, it's money, it's some type of reward. I thought these two were similar. I wasn't really sure. I think reward, as they're saying, could be even not so much materialistic, but maybe a trip or going to Grammys or something like that. But I think these two are similar. They're tangible, they're materialistic. They get the reward. You get a car, you get money, you get an allowance, you get, a new pair of shoes, whatever it is. These two, but they're positive. And they also go cause and effect. So if you do this, you get this, right? It's an effect. It just happens to be materialistic. And then you have your social. So you have social, you have materialistic, and then in a way, you see the whole law of cause and effect as a whole. So you cause something to happen, you're doing an activity that's positive, you're going to get a positive result in the end. So, if you guys have any questions, email me, docaldrich@gmail.com, and I can always answer questions. Also, if you want a free copy, grab it today, thehabitformulabook.com. If you want to upgrade, to one of the products that are out there, one of the programs that I developed. Also, if you want to go into the podcast area, I always upload the Lunchtime with the Habit Master episodes to both Spotify and iTunes, so you can check us out there. Go to my YouTube channel. It's called The Habit Master. I changed the name. It was my name, but then The Habit Master never showed up. So now, and there's also other Stephanie Aldriches on board. So now it's called The Habit Master. So go on YouTube and subscribe to the Habit Master channel. I have tons of videos on there that have to do with the 3 pillars of success, which is mindset, planning, and action. And there's so much stuff that I've learned, and now I'm recording stuff and giving it to you guys so that you don't have to waste time thinking and trying to look for stuff that's plausible and that works. I'm doing all the work for you, and then all you have to do is watch the videos. So that's it for me today. You've got your 4 positive reinforcements. You've got your cause and effect, your token or reward system, your social reinforcement, and your tangible materialistic reinforcement. If you follow these positive types of reinforcements, you can become persistent in creating good habits with your child. So remember, we want to build good habits together. And that's it for me today. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow.